What's happening, everyone? Welcome to GBALL Vision. I hope you are doing fantastic today. We have a couple Spydercos to go over here today, and we are going to be talking about what the best blade shape is for the Paramilitary 2 and for EDC and work type tasks. Now we do have a different blade shape here for each one. We have the Tanto variant in S30V. We have the standard drop point variant in 20CV. And then it's a knife joy exclusive. We also have the Wharncliffe edition here, which is a cutlery shop exclusive in CTS XHP. This is my most recent acquisition. I've had both of these for quite a while at this point, a couple years or so. And I got to thinking, after having all three of these, getting this third one finally, which one is my favorite and kind of why is it my favorite? Now, they all have a great deal of utility involved with them. The Tanto variant is going to be great at scraping and chiseling, as well as having that straight edge that'll allow you to do some good slicing tasks, and it has a nice pokey tip as well. The standard drop point version is going to allow you to do a good deal of slicing, a very good poker and piercer. A lot of people love the standard blade shape when it comes to the Paramilitary 2. And then we have what I consider the ultimate EDC and work knife blade shape. This bad boy, you have a nice pokey, piercy tip. You also have this nice long straight edge here that's going to allow you to do any type of cutting or slashing, slicing task that you could possibly do. The way this is shaped, it'll allow you to get in behind things like strapping, ropes, banding, all kinds of things. Get in behind them and be able to slice them very easily. Not only that, but it'll allow you to do draw cuts very easily. It's going to be a game changer when it comes to your cutting tasks. Now, all these will be able to slice, poke, do all that sort of thing. Now, with these two, where they lose some ground to this one, the Tanto variant, is they're not going to be so great at chiseling or kind of shaving things, you know, that type of cutting, because of this secondary tip here, or this secondary edge, is going to allow you to do scraping tasks and things like that very easily, where these two will not really be adequate for that. You could, in a pinch, do it, especially if it has a good enough edge with this guy. The Wharncliffe, you know, it'd be the same idea, but it's just not going to have quite that utility. But I would say that if that's not something that you run into, you know, on a daily basis, and even being a carpenter, it's not something that I run into a ton. And if it is, it's something that most likely you wouldn't end up doing with a pocket knife anyway. You would need a specific design tool for that. Now, the drop point variant is going to be coming in very close behind the Wharncliffe version. This is going to do anything and everything that you could possibly need, and that's why it's so popular. These two versions are not quite as widespread as the standard version is. Why that is, I'm not 100% sure. I think that if they were to put out more variants with these two blade shapes, they would be highly, highly sought after. I mean, they already are, and that might be it. The reason they keep these in such a low rotation of how much they output, it makes the demand for them pretty high. Now, right now, Cutlery Shop does have these in stock, this exact version. They don't have the satin blade version anymore, but this is the exact version that I wanted with the coated blade to kind of go with my other two here. And it's on washers. It's breaking in beautifully. Absolutely love this thing. And just using it the last couple days, it has been a dream to use, especially in the choked up position where you can really get on top of this blade. And then with the index cut, index grip, it is going to allow you some of the finest, best control on a draw cut or a very precise cut that you could do. You have that sloping tip. Your pointer finger is going to be right there, so you can guide that thing any which way your pointer finger is going. That is how that tip is going to end up as well. And I like being able to kind of see what I'm doing. So cutting from the side, kind of similar to this, plays a huge deal in some of the things that I like to do when I'm cutting something. Whereas with the Tanto, you kind of have to be up real high or using the secondary tip, and it's just not going to have quite the piercing capability that these two will have. So at the end of the day, I think, you know, as much as I love Tantos and I love drop points, the ability that the Wharncliffe has, and this style of Wharncliffe, how it's so straight, so well done as a Wharncliffe. You have this nice sloping tilt to the tip. You know, it's going to have great piercing tasks or piercing capability. And going into a pierce and draw cut, there's not going to be anything better. And that is what most people use their knives for, is kind of a poking or piercing task and then a draw cut task. You know, you're cutting up cardboard, you're cutting open a package, things of that nature, where you must pierce or poke first and then you start your cut. And if that's not your game, if you're into the slicing type tasks, this is also going to perform awesome, because you can start your cut down here towards the finger choil, and you have all this nice straight edge to get that cut done and over with. It's going to cut a nice wide area very easily. You won't roll out of the cut. You know, looking at the Tanto, see how much more edge you have to get that cut in. And this belly here is going to sometimes get you out of your cut, you know, whereas hopefully the straight edge is going to keep you in your cut. The belly could in turn kind of push you out of your cut. It could, and I've seen it happen a lot. You know, it's happened to me quite often, where you are slicing something starting here close to the choil, and eventually you find yourself working off of the blade and then fully out of your cut, which isn't a huge deal. But as far as optimum usage of your knives and the blade shape, I believe that the Wharncliffe is just, this is the ultimate EDC work knife combo here. You have great ergos. You're going to be able to get quite a bit of reach with this, and you'll have plenty of room to kind of maneuver all over the handle. Even if you want to be very far back, it is also, you know, if you want to be off the knife for a particular reason, you're going to be able to do that very comfortable as well. The standard grip is amazing with this ramp here and the fine jimping. You can really lock yourself in with this guy, have a ton of control. And then, like I said, you know, the index grip is just outstanding on this guy. And then even your standard choked up grip. Gonna have a lot of capability with this knife, this blade shape. I think this is the ultimate EDC knife and blade shape. Up until getting this, you know, I would have gave it to the drop point, but after getting this and using the Wharncliffe edition, it is just off the charts amazing, and I highly recommend trying to locate a Wharncliffe that is similar to this, or even this Paramilitary too. But there are Wharncliffes out there that are similar. You know, this one has a little bit of belly to it, but not near the belly that, you know, this drop point does. This is the MBK Old Guard, and it's more of a Wharncliffe with a mix of a sheep's foot. But there are knives out there that do have this completely straight edge Wharncliffe blade, and those are the blades that I highly recommend for EDC and for work. They're going to perform very, very well. The Wharncliffe blade is my all-time favorite blade shape, EDC blade shape, work blade shape. There's no doubt about it. That'll wrap it up for this one, guys. Hope you got something out of it. If you'd like to check out some more content, click here or here. If you're new and not subscribed, click that GBALL Vision logo there on the center of your screen. I would love to have you here. Otherwise, guys, I will catch you on the next one.